I am back with another movie review, a very special movie review, at least for me, because this is one of my favorite horror films of all time. Ever since I first saw this movie in the theater, it has stuck with me.
What the fuck was this blue jelly shit all over my shit?
And I still think to this day it's one of the creepiest films ever made, because not only was it realistic, but I believed the main characters, the way they acted. They weren't overacting. You know, they were pretty much being themselves with all the cursing and the laughing and the jokes and all that stuff. The stuff that they would say, it just reminds me of stuff that I would say.
Should we all, like, cut our fingers open and bleed on it?
But the movie is just so simple and well done that, yeah, I consider it one of the best horror films ever made. I mean, it doesn't, for me, beat The Shining, because that's my favorite horror film of all time. But it's close. The Blair Witch Project, 1999, where 3 film students go missing in the forest doing a documentary of the Blair Witch.
I want to present this in as straightforward a way as possible, and I think the legend is unsettling enough.
And it's basically a school project. And they, you know, they go out into the woods and try to film just to see, you know, if the legend of the Blair Witch is true, about how, like, years and years ago, how the Blair Witch was always accused of, you know, taking children into the woods and killing them.
There are an unusually high number of children laid to rest here, most of whom passed in the 1940s. Yet no one in the town seems to recall anything unusual about this time.
And the whole mythology of the Blair Witch and Ellie Kedward is just amazing. You know, I don't know if it's on this, but on the DVD and even the Blu-ray, you got The Curse of the Blair Witch, which shows you the mythology of Ellie Kedward and how she became the Blair Witch, just from sources and you know, books and diaries and stuff like that people have written about her.
I mean, anybody, or if there's salt around here, knows that this area's been haunted by that old woman for years.
That's bullshit.
And the whole mythology is just fantastic. When this movie first came out, everyone thought it was real, including me. I thought it was real. Then they, you know, you started seeing these actors in different things afterwards, because they were told to keep their mouths shut. But you see them pop up afterwards, so you're like, okay, it's obviously not real. But that did not change anything for me. I don't care if it's real or not real. When I'm, you know, immersed in the situation, when I see what's going on the screen, I feel like I'm in that world. They suck you in and you feel what they're feeling.
We walked south all day, okay? We walked south all fucking day. I don't know how we ended up.
So I don't care if it's real or not. To me, it just made it into a great movie. Very simple plot, like I said. They go into the woods, they start filming these locations that are famous, you know, for the Blair Witch. There's like gravestones, and then there's like a place called Coffin Rock where these people died on this rock. There's the cemetery that's deep into the forest. There's the Rustin Parr house.
They're all over the place.
Holy shit.
They come across this area of trees where there's these little stick figures. Like someone made these stick figures, and in the middle there's this big grassy stick figure, huge. It looks like it's got hair all over it. Now, what's really cool about the symbolism in this movie, they start interviewing, you know, the three filmmakers start interviewing people from Burkittsville, which is located in Maryland, formerly Blair.
This is Burkittsville, formerly Blair. It is a small, quiet Maryland town.
And they start interviewing these people, and these people start telling stories of what they heard about the Blair Witch and stories that you've never heard of. So you kind of get a little bit of a background to what's going on. You kind of get a little bit of a story.
Those were the 7 kids that were missing, and then they brought them out of the woods one at a time, and it just was a terrible thing. It just tore the whole community up.
And you know, they talk about these instances where they've seen the Blair Witch, and she floats above the ground. She opens her shawl, and she's got hair underneath, which is a symbol for what happens later in the movie. When you, in the middle, when you see the huge stick figure with a bunch of, you know, pine needles on it. It's basically supposed to symbolize hair, because she's hairy. She's a hairy woman.
She opened up her shawl.
And what was under there?
And under it there was hair on her body like a
So she
horse.
was hairy from head to toe.
Yeah.
That would scare me. But anyway, so the beginning, you get all these people talking about it, and then they finally go into the forest. And what I like, it's kind of like Paranormal Activity. You know, every night gets worse. It progresses. You know, the first night they start hearing sounds like this. Like, you hear twigs snapping, like somebody's just doing that, or somebody's walking.
Hello?
And they're like, oh, it's just a deer. It's just a deer. If I would have heard a cackling, I would have shit in my pants. There was 2 separate noises coming from 2 layers of space over here. One of them could have possibly been an owl, but the other one was like a cackling. Yeah, it was a total cackling, man. Joshua Leonard's awesome.
Is that Michael laughing?
Shut the fuck up, trust the screen.
You know, I keep thinking I see something. God, what is it with this movie? It just, I'm not even in the woods. I don't even think these woods are haunted. This trail's creepy as hell, but I keep thinking I see things. It's because I keep thinking about this.
Can't laugh in the creek either.
See how this scarred me for life. Oh my God. Anyway, so they go in the forest. Every night gets worse. They start hearing more sounds and different things. They start getting scared. You know, they go to the cemetery part, and one of them knocks this pile of rocks over, which, you know, a lot of people who've seen this movie pretty much, you know, I think that was the instance when they knocked those rocks over. That's when the Blair Witch came after them. I don't know if the Blair Witch would have done anything to this group, if they would have just respected the area. I don't know. But the fact that they knocked the rocks over was kind of like a disrespect thing. So the Blair Witch is basically hunting them.
It came 3 nights in a row, and it's getting worse every night.
I would love to hear this right now. I really would.
I'm just trying to say that, you know, we have to...
And you don't ever get to see the witch. There's actually one part in this movie where you were supposed to see the witch when I forgot who it was who pans really quick. I don't know if it was Josh, who pans like this, and then you hear Heather saying, oh my God, what the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? And you're supposed to be seeing something, but you don't really. I've paused the video several times in that spot. You don't see nothing because it's going like this, and it's very dark, and you can't really see what's going on, but you were supposed to see something, and I'm so glad that they showed nothing.
Oh my God, what the fuck is that? What the fuck is that?
I don't want to see the Blair Witch, just like the new Blair Witch movie. That was horse shit. I don't want to see the Blair Witch. It's scarier not seeing and not knowing. You're just hearing sounds. You're hearing babies crying. You're hearing kids laughing. The scariest part of this movie is when they're in the tent and you hear and like all of a sudden you see them hitting the tent and stuff like that. There's no fucking baby out there, man. There's no fucking baby out there. Okay. Oh, there's no fucking baby out there. I'd be saying the same thing after I shit my pants, because that's exactly what I'd be doing. There'd be a big pile of shit right there on the ground. I'd be stepping in it, and I wouldn't even want to move.
I fucking hope he's kidding.
I'd be so scared. I mean, this movie it just affects you in that way, just from the sounds and just the reality of the situation. 3 people who get lost. They start following the map. They start following the compass. And for some reason, they head in one direction and they end up at the same spot again. Even by following the creek. There's a creek right here. Now, if I were to follow this creek from here and go down that way where the creek only goes, logically, I should end up from point A to point B, right? I should end up down there, not where I am right now. Logically speaking. In this movie, they do the same thing with this tree trunk, but they end up back where they were. And she's like, that's not the same log. And he's like, it is, it's the same one. Open your eyes. And she's like, it is the same log. They've been going in circles.
No, that's the tree we crossed. That tree is down. That's the same one. Oh, God!
The witch has been fucking with their compass or just their sense of direction. So they've been going in circles. There's a lot of theories surrounding like the whole Blair Witch Forest, like it's another dimension, and there's a whole bunch of theories on what's going on. But the cool thing is that no one has a definitive answer. It leaves you thinking about what could be possible with this situation. I love that. I love just dwelling on that point. So, you know, they're going around in circles. They're being fucked with at night. You hear sounds, and then all of a sudden, one of the scenes that really gets me is you see Josh, and then it cuts, and then it shows Heather yelling his name like he's gone. Like it just showed them at night in the tent. He's like, I want mashed potatoes and a piece of ass. And then all of a sudden it cuts, and then he's gone.
Josh, where are you? Tell me where you are!
And then you hear Josh in the distance yelling for help. I remember seeing that in the movie theater. And that scream he does, I mean, like if I heard that right now, oh my God, no way, no way, sorry, I'm out. They go looking for Josh, but before they do that, they receive a package at the door of the tent. Heather opens it, and I think it's a tongue and teeth. It's Josh's.
Oh my God.
Someone ripped out his teeth and tongue, wrapped it in this care package with his flannel shirt, and Heather sees it, but Michael doesn't. Because you have three. You have Joshua Leonard, Heather Donahue, and Michael Williams. Michael does not see it. She throws it, and he doesn't see what the package is. So he has no idea. So they go looking for Josh. And you have the scene where everyone makes fun of the, you know, the booger scene where Heather's, you know, she's cold and her nose is running, and she's like, I'm so sorry for everything that has happened because it was my project. And I insisted that we go on. I insisted. And now look where we're at because of me. Hungry, cold, and hunted. And so that was an emotional scene. She did a good job, Heather Donahue did. She did a good job with that. Oh my God, I just saw a ground squirrel creep up on me.
I was very naive.
She did a good job with that, okay? And so the third act of the film is crazy. They go into the Rustin Parr house, supposedly, where they tell the story in the beginning about how Rustin Parr used to take two kids in the basement. He made one stand in the corner because he couldn't take the eyes watching him. And then he'd kill the other one, and then he'd take the one out of the corner and kill that one right after. And it was voices that was telling him to do it. Basically, the voices of the Blair Witch. And the third act basically mimics that story. And you can hear Josh's voice in the house. The house is the creepiest part. That's like one of the creepiest parts.
Downstairs! Come on! I hear him downstairs! Come on!
This movie is so memorable. There's the picture of the like the big stick figure with the hair on it. This film, it's been spoofed so many times. They've tried to spoof this movie, and they've tried to make, you know, comedies out of it and stuff like that. It just got old after a while. They made like the Erotic Witch Project and, you know, stupid things like that. It just got so old to where, you know, I appreciated this movie a lot more, even nowadays. Like, you know, people hate on this movie. There's like, oh, it wasn't scary at all, and it was, you know, the acting was ridiculous. I mean, you compare this, the acting in this movie, compare this to other found footage films nowadays, the acting is superior in this movie, in my opinion. The acting is superior compared to some of these other ones. The Devil Inside, you know, movies like that. It doesn't work nowadays. It just seems like they cannot get it. That's the thing this had going for it, is that it was realistic in that view, and the actors, they were themselves. That's what I loved about it. So, I love this movie. If I had to rate this movie, I would probably give it a 10, the same as The Shining. You know, and The Shining, I just like more things about that movie than this, but this is definitely close. I mean, it's definitely close. The Shining will always remain my very favorite, you know, my very first favorite horror film. But this is, you know, right up there. I love this movie. Everything about it, the lore, you know, the actors who did it, the creators and all that, just all the scenes in this film are just fantastic and creepy at the same time. You know, then they made Blair Witch 2, Book of Shadows, and then they made that Blair Witch, supposed to be like a sequel so many years later. Those movies sucked, man. They don't even compare to this. All this is a documentary. All this is footage put together to make a film. That's all this is. And it worked. In October of 1994, 3 student filmmakers disappeared in the woods near Burkittsville, Maryland, while shooting a documentary. A year later, their footage was found. Now, how can that not creep you out? That alone, that paragraph is enough to make you want to watch this film. So, that is the Blair Witch Project. I'm out here in the forest because I thought it would be fitting. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this movie. Tell me what you think about this movie, honestly. Okay? Don't jump on the bandwagon for anything and say, you know, other people hate it, I'm going to hate it too. Just be honest. What do you think of the Blair Witch Project? Like I've already told you, it's one of my favorites. One of my favorite horror films. I own this on DVD, VHS, and Blu-ray. I love it so much. You guys got to check this out. Look how creepy this looks. Look at that. I don't know why that just looks creepy to me. The tree, the roots are overgrown on the outside of the ledge there. See that? And it's like a hole underneath there. But whenever I look at this creek, it's like I just am reminded of the Blair Witch. Just for some reason. I don't know, it's awesome. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this review of the Blair Witch. I'm definitely going to be reviewing the other 2 Blair Witch films. And I'm not sure when those are going to be out, but I'm definitely going to get on that. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know in the comments what you thought. Stay tuned for more videos, more reviews, more top 10s, more different kinds of things. You know, subscribe. And I appreciate you guys watching. I really do. I appreciate it every single day, every single view, every single comment you guys leave. I appreciate it. And yeah, so let's continue this on. Let's keep going with this. I'm going to be cranking out the video, so stay tuned. See you next time. I'm scared. I just... Look at this. This is where I gotta go. I don't even... The sun's starting to go down now. I mean, at least there's still light, but... There's just nothing. Look at this. What was that? What was that, guys? Did you hear that? Okay. I'm like, usually I do something funny at the end of videos. That was not meant to be funny like this. I'm being serious right now. What the hell was that noise? I heard someone go, ah, nah! I swear to God. I don't hear it. I hear cackling, like Josh did. I hear cackling now. I'll see you guys if I get home. Maybe I won't be able to continue my channel. Maybe I'll be out here just walking in fucking circles. I don't know. I'm not following no damn compass, I know that.